Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to help you get through depression, mental health, anything that you might be going through. I know this is a sensitive topic, but not a lot of people cover it, and I'm thinking about dedicating this channel in order to helping people who don't exactly not have issues, but just don't know how to cope with them and don't have anybody to go to. So without further ado, like and subscribe if you want to see more videos, hit that notification bell, and let's get right into it. Okay guys, so the first thing you want to do is distract yourself. Now, don't get that confused with avoiding all your problems. You don't want to do that. You want to be focused on bettering yourself, both mentally and maybe physically. If that's what's getting you down, try some new things. We will get to that later in the video. But distract yourself, whether it's do a hobby, like if you like to go outside, shoot hoops, go out with friends, go to a party. As much as you may not want to, and you might want to sit at home, sit in bed, watch Netflix, get yourself out there, because the sooner you get yourself out there and get your mind moving, interacting with people, the sooner you won't forget your problems, but you'll feel better about them because you'll realize that you have people that you can go to and you can just adapt and just get everything, you know, out into the open. What I do is, I'll make a separate video on it on how I got through it, but I just went out. I met some good people, bad people, people I thought were good that ended up being bad, but if you don't get out there, you'll never know, and it'll just be an endless cycle of like a dark cloud. So the first step is to distract yourself, no matter what, at what cost. Just do anything you can to distract yourself, whether it's even with work. If you distract yourself with work, that could be good too, to an extent. But you just can't sit at home, because it'll just linger and get worse. And you know, when it gets worse, you don't know. So just, first of all, just distract yourself. Get yourself out there. Go for a jog. Go for a bike ride. Whatever it takes. Get a sunlight. Obviously, if it's winter, it's harder, but there are still things you can do. Okay, the next step is surrounding yourself with the best possible people at the best possible time. So, I'll break it down for you. So, when you're feeling sad or feeling just like you don't really know what to do, go to your best friend. Preferably if you have more than one best friend that supports you equally. Obviously, I know as someone who is in high school, I know how that is, that friends are not always how they seem, they're not always good for support, but you know, get you at least 2 best friends that you trust. And like, whenever you're feeling like down or just out of it, try to plan something. Plan like if you're a girl, plan a girls' night out. If you're a guy, plan, I don't know, like go see like a football game, depending on what season it is. Go do something. Go out with the boys. Do something, like, because those 2 people are better than, like, say you went to a party and had 15 people. Now, I know I said before that going to a party is a good idea, but if you're feeling, it just really depends on how down you're feeling. If you're feeling super down, a party might not be your scene, or if you're not a party person in general, that might not be your scene. So this is an alternative method that kind of ties into the last one. But get you your best friends, whether you have 2 or 5, plan like a sleepover, anything, it doesn't matter. Just spend a lot of time with them and talk to them, because they will eventually, if you don't tell them yourself, they'll figure it out if they're real friends, that there's something wrong, and they will talk you through it and hype you up. So do whatever you can to get those people involved in the situation, because maybe if you feel embarrassed or you feel like lame, but it's not, because depression comes in a lot of different ways, and you really can't be afraid to like talk to someone about it, whether it's your parents, it's your friends, it's your neighbor, it's your aunt, whatever it is, you have to talk to someone. So my best advice, based on personal experience, is talk to your best friends. Talk to your best friends, talk to your brothers, your sisters, depending on how good they are. You know, you gotta get yourself out there, and you gotta push yourself, because if you don't, you're just gonna drown in it. And obviously I don't want that for you, because I did that and it didn't go well for me. So please do whatever you can to just get yourself out there. It's not easy to do this. I know it took me years to do it, but you have to Once you make that first step, you're gonna feel so much better, because knowing that you have people in your life that will help you, it's gonna be an amazing feeling. So don't give up. Just keep pushing through and just keep doing you, because once that happens, you will start to feel a world better. Okay, the third step, and probably the most important step in this whole thing, is remaining positive. Now, you're probably thinking, wow, you really have no idea what you're talking about. But I do. I went through this, and remaining positive is the hardest part. Anybody can go out with their friends and just, you know, like I said, but I mean, you have the biggest step that will negate all the other steps if you don't do this, is you have to remain positive. It's really hard, I know. I mean, there's times where you're just like, wow, life is never gonna get better. I feel like I'm letting everybody down. But you have to look at the positive. You have to say, I'm still here. I can either feel crappy about myself, or I can go out and I can try to make the best of the day. And that's a hard push for some people. It really is. There are times where I wouldn't even want to go leave the house. But, you know, it's over time. If you're just starting, if you're watching this video when you're just going through depression, this might seem scary to you, because you might not be at the stage where you're so just out of it that you don't want to leave, but it could lead to that. So I want to give you guys the information, and I never claim to be an expert on this. I am not, you know, I'm not saying that my facts are completely like 100% like foolproof, but like, you know, it's just how I went through it, and it really made the world of a difference, and I want to give that to you guys. So I'm just giving you guys what I know, and I hope that I hope it works for you guys. I really do, because it worked for me. It's worked for some of my friends that I've helped through it, and I want you guys to know that I'm not claiming to be like a psychologist or anything. I'm not trying to be that for you guys. I'm just trying to give you guys the facts and help you guys get through whatever it is you're going through, whether it's family loss, breakup, whatever it is. But back to the video, like I said, remaining positive is the key to everything. If you can wake up in the morning and say, I really don't feel good, but I'm gonna push through this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna make plans with my best friend, and I'm gonna go out and we're gonna have a sleepover, we're gonna go swimming, you're gonna feel so much better, because over time you're gonna stop thinking about what's wrong, and just you're gonna be enjoying yourself. You're gonna wake up one day and be like, wow, I haven't thought about how sad I've been in a few days. Once you reach that point, you're in the home stretch, because once you can make it 2, 3, 4, even a week without feeling upset or not being in constant like fear, you're doing so much better. So remain positive. And if you ever need anything, I'll link my Instagram, Snapchat in the description, and you can always hit me up anytime, because I will talk you through it day or night. It is so good to remain positive. I struggle with it sometimes myself, but it really means the world of difference to just get out there and be like, you know what, let's do it. So remain positive. Don't rush it. These things take time. I know this 5-step video seems like it can happen in a week, but it can't. It's going to take time. Depending on what you went through, what your life is like, it could take weeks, it could take months, it could even take years. It really just depends on your situation and how motivated you are to better yourself. Because there's nothing wrong with you. Being depressed doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve, you know, the same treatment that other people do. It just means that you're going through something and you're struggling with it. So get that image out of your head that there's something wrong with you. Because I know that, you know, you can go to a doctor and they say you have clinical depression, and you might, but a lot of times doctors, and they're good at treating you about it, but a lot of times it brings this negative stigma that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just going through something, and you just need the help pushing yourself through it. That's all you need. You're not broken, okay? You can do this. And that brings me to the next step, step number 4. Alright, your 4th step, and it's really it's almost as crucial as the last step. Come up with a plan. Where do you want to see yourself? Do you want to feel happier? Do you want to be open to trying new relationships by a certain point? Like, I mean, like, say you go through a breakup and you're like, oh man, I'm not going to talk to anybody for a while, which is fine. but you have to set a goal. You can't just be like, I'm never talking to anybody again, you know? So set a goal for yourself. Set a goal that you're going to reach to, like, where you can feel emotionally ready to do something. Like, say you went through a breakup, because that's, a lot of times, that's the most common trigger. So say, like, you break up with someone and you just really are done with it, depending on how bad it was. Obviously, some circumstances are more extreme than others, but just your basic, average, just breakup. Say I'm gonna stay single for 8 months. By 8 months, I will be ready. I want to be ready to talk to someone. Not jump in, but talk to someone. Build yourself up. You need to have a goal to build yourself up to, otherwise it's gonna feel wasted. So I use relationships as one thing, not to sound kind of like cliche, but just because that is a valid reason that leads to depression sometimes. Because you don't know how you could be with someone a long time and then you break up and you don't know what to do. So use that as an example, but I can name anything. Say like a family loss. That's harder to set a goal for because you weren't really involved in it. You were just affected by it. So say like a family goal. Say I'm going to work every day, say like fitness, whatever. I'm going to work at something every day until I feel better about myself, about the loss of this person. Now, it's not as simple as that, obviously. I'm just making it sound simpler because it's hard to explain. Obviously, like I said, I'm not an expert on this, so I wouldn't know exactly how to explain it, but basically, set a goal for yourself. Set something where you can say, all right, I'm going to do this by this time, and my goal is to feel better by this time. That's why I use relationships, because it's easier, because you can set a goal for yourself and kind of work towards it. Family loss is different. Family loss is one of the things you really probably can't set a goal for. You just have to grieve through it yourself. But you can use the other steps that I've listed in this video to help you through that. But if it's a family loss, I would say just ignore this goal because it's really not going to help you. I mean, unless you can come up with something good, honestly, the more steps you can take out of this, the better. My goal is to help you, but if it's family loss, I don't see this step helping you. So you could skip to the next step because that might help you. Other than that, I mean, setting a goal is, I mean, you hear it in school, you hear it in the gym, you hear it in life. Setting goals is important. You need to have goals in order to be successful in life. And it goes to the same with your mental health. Basically, treat yourself like you're in a relationship with yourself. The better you treat yourself, the happier you're going to be. If you are constantly down on yourself or don't feel good about yourself, you're going to be unhappy. So just treat yourself as you would treat a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Because that is going to go a long way for you. So I know I keep repeating myself, but set a goal. It is so key in order to build up your happiness. Because setting a goal isn't instant happiness. It's a big booster, though. It builds up your happiness really quick if you are committed to that goal. So set a goal. Okay, the fifth and final step is most probably the easiest step because, yeah, I know, hard to believe, right? But this is the last step, and you could really do it in any order. You could do it from the start and then do the other 4 steps, or you could do it after, but, I mean, it doesn't matter. Basically, take a breath. Whether you start this video and take a breath and then just go through the other steps, and then over the next few months take a lot of breaths here and there, because I know that sounds weird, but when you're going through such a hard time, you feel like you're not breathing. Like you are breathing, obviously, but you're not, because when you're so stressed and just so sad or out of it, you really don't feel like you're breathing. So this step means more to people who understand depression more than others that don't really have it, so... And if you're watching this video and you don't have depression, but you know someone who does, tell them to take a breath. But do it in a way like, oh, you need to take a breath. No, don't do that. Basically, talk to them, calm them down. Because I understand that when people get in those ways, it is so hard to break them out of it. I've had it myself. I've dealt with it many times. But you have to get them to take a breath, because once they take a breath, their brain will calm down. And then they will sometimes realize that what the situation that they were panicking about was not as big. And like I've said many times in this video, I am not an expert. I only know all this is because I went through it for like 4 years. So you don't have to take my advice as factual. You don't. I'm not asking you to. I'm just saying try it, because I went through it. I got through it with all these steps, and I actually helped a lot of people get through their depression, or at least helped them along the process with these steps. Because sorry, I had sweat in my eye. Because these things they're not really just made up steps. These things do help. I mean, depending on your case, these steps might do nothing for you. And if they don't, I'm really sorry about that, because everybody copes differently. But these steps, I find, have helped some of my friends. They've helped me. They helped my sister. It's just a lot of things that can really make a world of difference. So please try these steps. Give them time. They don't always work instantly. I mean, they're not going to work instantly, but please give them a shot. That's it. That is all the steps. I hope you feel better. Comment, leave a like below. Hit me up anytime. I'll leave my Instagram in the description below. Anything you need, you hit me up. I don't care, you know, it's all good. Just hit me up anytime. That's it for the video, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that way you can get more of my videos on mental health tips. And have a good day, guys. Peace out.